You ever feel like life is testing you? Like every step you take, there's another mountain in front of you? Maybe you've prayed. Maybe you've fought. Maybe you've wondered if you can take one more day, one more challenge, one more heartbreak. I'm here to tell you what feels like the end is just the doorway to your breakthrough. On the other side of endurance is where your strength shows up, your purpose aligns, and your victory is waiting. But you have to keep going. Even when it hurts, even when it's hard, even when you feel like giving up. Endurance is one of those things that most of us don't truly understand until we are forced to confront it. It's easy to think of strength as something you either have or you don't. As if some people are born resilient and others are fragile. But the truth is, strength is often hidden. It's buried under doubt, fear, frustration, and even despair. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up when life is comfortable or when the road is smooth. Strength reveals itself when the circumstances demand more than what you think you have, when the world is testing you in ways that feel impossible to overcome. Endurance is the vehicle that uncovers that strength. Without it, you might go through life thinking you are weak, fragile, or incapable, but when you endure, you discover a well of power inside yourself that you didn't know existed. Think about the moments in your life that challenged you the most. Maybe it was a season of financial struggle when you had to find a way to make ends meet despite feeling like there was no way out. Maybe it was a personal loss, someone you loved, someone you depended on, and the emptiness left behind seemed insurmountable. Maybe it was a professional setback, a dream deferred, a goal that slipped through your fingers despite all your effort. In each of those moments, your first instinct might have been to quit, to give up, to surrender. That's natural. That's human. But every time you resisted that instinct, every time you refused to collapse under the weight of life's challenges, you were discovering strength. You were uncovering a part of yourself that only shows up when everything else tells you to stop. Endurance is not about the absence of struggle. It's about what you do in the presence of struggle. It's not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain, to keep walking through the fire. And that's the paradox of strength. It doesn't grow in comfort zones. It grows in discomfort. In the moments where your body, your mind, and your spirit are all screaming at you to quit. That screaming, that pressure, that push against your limits is what forces you to dig deeper. It forces you to find the hidden reserves you didn't even know were there. And often, those reserves are astonishing. When people talk about someone being strong, what they really mean is that person has endured beyond what most would tolerate, and in doing so, discovered power that was invisible at first glance. The beauty of endurance is that it teaches us about ourselves in a very real way. When you endure, you learn your boundaries. You learn what you can handle, what you can survive, what you can thrive through. Endurance exposes the hidden layers of your character, your patience, your resilience, your courage, and your faith in yourself and the journey. Many times, we underestimate our own capacity because we've never been tested. We've never been in a situation where the only option was to keep going. But life has a way of putting us in those situations. And when it does, endurance becomes the mirror that shows us who we really are. And the reflection is often far more powerful than we ever imagined. It's important to understand that endurance doesn't come from a place of perfection. It doesn't come from being fearless, from having all the answers, or from never failing. In fact, endurance often comes from the exact opposite. It comes from failing over and over, falling, and choosing to rise again. It comes from facing the fear, stepping into the unknown, and continuing even when the outcome is uncertain. Endurance is messy, it's painful, it's exhausting. But that's precisely why it's so transformative. Each challenge you endure adds a layer to your strength. Each obstacle you overcome makes you more resilient, and each setback you navigate without giving up fortifies your spirit. When we talk about hidden strength, we also have to talk about mindset. Endurance is as much mental as it is physical. It's about refusing to let temporary setbacks define your identity. It's about training your mind to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to grow. The hidden strength inside of you often starts with a simple choice, the choice to keep going, the choice to fight one more day, one more hour, one more minute. And each time you make that choice, you reinforce the truth that you are capable of far more than you ever believed. You are uncovering layers of resilience that were always inside you, waiting for the moment you would need them. History is full of examples of hidden strength revealed through endurance. Think of the countless individuals who face insurmountable odds yet refuse to give up. People who endured persecution, poverty, illness, or injustice, and through that endurance found a power and purpose that changed not only their lives but the world. Endurance reveals that strength is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the courage to persist despite struggle. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has done so not because they had no challenges, but because they endured the challenges and in the process discovered strength they never knew they had. And the same principle applies in our own lives. Maybe you haven't yet faced what you think of as your ultimate trial. Maybe your endurance has been tested in small ways, relationships, work, personal growth, and maybe you feel like those trials aren't significant enough to matter. But the truth is, endurance works cumulatively. Every challenge you meet and navigate adds to your reservoir of hidden strength. Each time you refuse to quit, you are strengthening the foundation for the next trial, the next season of life, the next opportunity to rise above. Strength is not an instant gift, it's a reward for perseverance. And the deeper your endurance, the greater the strength that will emerge on the other side. Ultimately, hidden strength is not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about realizing that the very things that tested you the most also prepared you for something greater. When you endure, you become equipped to handle more, to dream bigger, and to live bolder. Endurance doesn't just reveal strength, it transforms it into confidence, courage, and capability. It shows you that you are not defined by the challenges you face, but by how you respond to them. And that revelation, that moment of recognition, is life-changing. It's the moment when you realize that you've been strong all along, you just didn't know it yet. So if you are walking through a season of difficulty, remember this, your endurance is uncovering your hidden strength. Every step you take, every struggle you push through, every tear you shed, every setback you rise from is revealing power you didn't know you had. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. And on the other side of endurance, you will find not just victory, but a deeper understanding of yourself, a richer connection to your purpose, and a courage that can never be taken from you. Endurance is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a life lived with strength, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. Struggle is something that everyone tries to avoid. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and it often feels like a sign that something is wrong. When life puts us in difficult circumstances, when doors close, when plans fall apart, our instinct is to resist, to run, or to wish it away. But here's the truth that too few people understand. Struggle is not the enemy, it's the bridge. The very thing that feels unbearable, the challenge that makes you question everything, is often the exact path that leads to your breakthrough. Every moment of difficulty, every season of frustration, every trial you face is a step along a bridge that connects where you are now to the place where your purpose, your victory, and your potential intersect. Think about it. If you look at the lives of those who have achieved greatness, almost without exception, you will see struggle. It's a consistent theme. The people who inspire the world, the leaders, the visionaries, the change makers, didn't arrive at their breakthroughs because life was easy or because the road was clear. They arrived because they faced struggle and refused to let it defeat them. Struggle forces us to confront our limitations, to wrestle with fear, to dig deeper than we ever thought possible. It is a mirror reflecting not just our weaknesses, but also our untapped potential. Without struggle, there is no challenge to overcome, and without challenge, there is no real growth. The bridge to breakthrough is built in the fire of struggle, one experience at a time. Struggle shapes character. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't go your way, when you encounter repeated setbacks, when your effort seems to produce nothing but frustration. But these are the very moments that develop resilience, patience, and determination. Struggle forces you to examine your choices, to refine your approach, and to cultivate wisdom that only comes from experience. It teaches you humility because it shows you that you cannot control everything. It teaches you perseverance because it shows you that giving up is easy but unfulfilling. And most importantly, struggle teaches you faith in yourself, in your ability to overcome, and in the bigger plan that is unfolding even when you cannot see it. Breakthrough does not happen in the absence of resistance. It happens when resistance is present and you refuse to quit. Often, people want the result, the success, the opportunity, the transformation without wanting to endure the struggle that comes with it. But struggle is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the soil where your breakthrough takes root. When you are in the middle of difficulty, it may feel like life is working against you. You may feel like you're trapped, stuck, or overwhelmed. But the reality is that every challenge is a step forward, every obstacle is a lesson, and every moment of resistance is strengthening you for what comes next. Struggle is the bridge, but you must walk it. You must face it head on and move forward. Even when the path is rocky, even when it hurts, even when you doubt your ability to continue, struggle also has a way of revealing what is truly important. When life is easy, it's easy to get distracted by superficial things, to chase fleeting pleasures, or to focus on what doesn't really matter. But struggle strips everything away. It exposes your priorities, your values, and your true desires. It shows you what you care about deeply, what you are willing to fight for, and what you are not willing to compromise. This clarity is invaluable because it allows you to channel your energy, your focus, and your effort toward the things that will lead to genuine fulfillment and real breakthroughs. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to refine your vision, to strengthen your focus, and to align your actions with your purpose. It's also important to understand that breakthrough is not always immediate. Often, the bridge of struggle is long. It may feel like you are moving in circles, like your efforts are fruitless, like the light at the end of the tunnel is too far away to reach. But here is the key. Perseverance through struggle compounds over time. Every decision to keep going, every lesson learned from hardship, every ounce of effort invested adds up. And eventually, the bridge brings you to a place where the breakthrough you've been striving for is finally within reach. It may not come in the way you expected. It may not happen on your timeline, but it will come if you continue to move forward with faith, determination, and resilience. One of the most powerful aspects of struggle is that it builds empathy and understanding. When you face hardship, you begin to recognize that everyone is fighting battles, often invisible ones. Struggle teaches you compassion because it allows you to connect with others on a deeper level. It prepares you not just to achieve personal breakthrough, but to be a source of inspiration, guidance, and support for others as they navigate their own bridges of difficulty. Those who have walked through struggle and emerged on the other side are uniquely positioned to help others see the possibilities that exist beyond their current challenges. Your struggle, while difficult, becomes a platform to impact others, to uplift, and to lead. It's also crucial to recognize that struggle is not permanent. The pain, the frustration, the fear, it's temporary. And while it may feel all-consuming in the moment, every season of difficulty has a finite duration. Breakthrough is waiting on the other side, ready to reward your endurance, your courage, and your faith. But the key is to not shortcut the process. To try to avoid struggle or to rush through it is to rob yourself of the full depth of growth, wisdom, and strength that comes from navigating it fully. Struggle is the bridge, and every step along it matters. Each moment builds momentum. Each challenge builds character, and each setback teaches a lesson that will serve you in the future. Ultimately, struggle is the birthplace of transformation. It has a way of reshaping you, redirecting you, and elevating you in ways that comfort never could. It forces you to dig deep, to confront the parts of yourself you may have ignored, and to rise to a level of performance, resilience, and clarity you didn't know you possessed. On the other side of struggle lies not just achievement, but transformation, personal, spiritual, emotional, and mental. Every bridge of struggle is designed to carry you to a place you could not have reached otherwise. And when you arrive, the breakthrough is sweeter, more meaningful, and more powerful than you ever imagined, because it was forged in the fire of endurance. So if you are in the middle of a difficult season, if life feels heavy, if every step forward feels like a battle, remember this: your struggle is not a detour. It is not a punishment. It is the bridge. Every moment of resistance, every challenge, every setback is a step closer to your breakthrough. Keep walking, keep pushing, keep believing. On the other side of struggle is a life transformed, a purpose fulfilled, and a victory that will make every hardship worth it. Struggle is not the end of your story. It is the path to the most powerful chapter of your life. Persistence is one of those qualities that is often talked about but rarely understood in its full depth. It's easy to say, just keep going, as if the words themselves carry power. But persistence is not just a mental mantra. It is a deliberate, disciplined choice to continue in spite of difficulty, discouragement, and disappointment. It's the force that turns pain into purpose, the principle that allows life's hardships to become the fuel for meaningful action and transformative results. Without persistence, pain can feel like an endless weight, dragging us down, keeping us small, and keeping us from realizing our true potential. But with persistence, that same pain becomes the catalyst for growth, insight, and achievement. Think about the nature of pain. Everyone experiences it in some form: loss, failure, betrayal, heartbreak, disappointment. Pain is universal, unavoidable, and often overwhelming. When it hits, it can feel like it will never end. The instinct is to avoid it, to numb it, to escape it. But pain has a purpose. It is life's way of telling us that change is necessary, that growth is possible, that there is a lesson to be learned. Yet pain alone is not enough. Pain, unaddressed or unchanneled, can lead to bitterness, despair, or stagnation. That is where persistence enters the equation. Persistence is the act of refusing to let pain define you. It is the decision to move forward step by step, even when the road is difficult, even when your strength feels depleted, even when hope seems distant. Persistence transforms pain because it allows you to act despite suffering. Pain alone is passive. It can make you retreat, avoid, or give up. But persistence is active. It is the engine that converts the raw energy of your struggles into productive action. Every time you choose to persist, you are taking control of your narrative. You are saying that your current circumstances, no matter how painful, will not determine the totality of your life. You are choosing to let your pain be a teacher, not a jailer. You are turning what could be a source of despair into a source of direction. That transformation is the essence of purpose. Taking what challenges you, what wounds you, what breaks you, and using it to guide your life towards something meaningful. Persistence also requires patience. Pain often wants instant solutions. It wants relief. It wants answers. It wants the struggle to end immediately. But purpose is rarely instant. Purpose unfolds gradually, step by step, through consistent effort and endurance. The process of persisting through pain allows you to gain clarity on what truly matters. It gives you the space to reflect, to refine your goals, and to align your actions with the lessons you are learning. Every difficult day, every setback, every uncomfortable experience is shaping you, equipping you, and preparing you for a future that could not be reached without persistence. History is full of examples of individuals who transformed their pain into purpose through persistence. Consider the innovators, the leaders, the artists, and the visionaries who endured countless failures, rejections, and hardships. Their pain could have destroyed them, discouraged them, or led them to surrender. But they persisted. They kept showing up, kept trying, kept believing that the effort they invested was not wasted. And through that persistence, their struggles became the very foundation of their breakthroughs. Pain became insight, suffering became strategy, and hardship became wisdom. The lessons learned in those seasons of difficulty were what ultimately propelled them to success and purpose. Persistence also teaches resilience. When you continue moving forward in the face of pain, you are actively strengthening your capacity to endure future challenges. Life is not linear. Setbacks and difficulties will continue to arise. But each time you persist, each time you refuse to give up, you build resilience and inner fortitude that allows you to face the next trial with greater confidence and composure. Pain does not have the power to crush you if persistence is your constant companion. Instead, it molds you into someone capable of handling more, achieving more, and becoming more. Persistence transforms pain into purpose because it ensures that every struggle you endure adds to your growth rather than your defeat. Moreover, persistence turns pain into purpose by clarifying your why. Pain often forces us to confront questions we might otherwise ignore. Why am I here? What matters most? What am I willing to fight for? When you persist through difficulty, you gain answers to these questions, not in theory, but in experience. The lessons learned through persistence are deep, practical, and life-changing. Your experiences, your endurance, and your effort become a compass pointing you toward what you are meant to do, who you are meant to serve, and the legacy you are meant to leave behind. Without persistence, those answers might remain hidden, buried under frustration, doubt, and unfulfilled potential. Persistence also changes perception. Pain is often associated with negativity, suffering, limitation, loss. But when you persist, pain becomes a signal of opportunity rather than a barrier. You begin to see obstacles as invitations to grow, challenges as training for what lies ahead, and failures as lessons rather than judgments. The act of persistence shifts your mindset from victimhood to agency, from being at the mercy of circumstances to taking control of your life. The more you persist, the more you realize that the story of your life is not dictated by what happens to you, but by how you respond to what happens. Pain is inevitable, but persistence is your choice. And that choice transforms pain into purpose. Another key aspect of persistence is that it creates momentum. At first, progress may feel slow or even imperceptible. You may feel like you are pushing against an immovable wall, but persistence compounds. Every small action, every effort you make, every decision to continue builds momentum. Over time, that momentum becomes unstoppable. The weight of pain, instead of paralyzing you, becomes the fuel that propels you forward. What once felt like an impossible struggle begins to feel like an inevitable journey toward your purpose. Persistence ensures that your pain is not wasted. It becomes the driving force behind meaningful achievement and fulfillment. Finally, persistence transforms pain into purpose because it creates testimony. When you continue despite difficulty, you become living proof that hardship can be overcome. Your story, your endurance, your resilience, your refusal to give up becomes a source of inspiration for others. People see the way you persist, the way you convert your struggles into steps forward, and they are encouraged to do the same in their own lives. Your persistence doesn't just benefit you, it radiates outward, creating impact far beyond your immediate circumstances. Pain, when paired with persistence, becomes not just a personal journey, but a public testimony, a living example of the power of human will, determination, and purpose. So if you are in a season of difficulty, if pain feels overwhelming, if you are tempted to quit, remember this: persistence is your pathway. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a transformation. Every moment of endurance, every decision to keep going, every step forward in the midst of struggle is converting your hardship into meaning, your suffering into purpose, and your challenges into opportunities. Persistence turns what could destroy you into what will define you. It is the bridge between where you are and the life you were meant to live. By persisting, you ensure that your pain is not wasted, that your struggles are not in vain, and that your life becomes a testament to the power of enduring, overcoming, and transforming. Pain is inevitable. Purpose is optional. Persistence is the bridge that connects the two. Choose to walk it, and you will discover that what once caused suffering now fuels your destiny. What once held you back now propels you forward. And what once seemed impossible now becomes your purpose realized. So where does that leave us? Endurance, struggle, persistence. They are not just challenges we endure. They are the very forces that shape who we are and who we are meant to become. Endurance reveals the hidden strength inside of us, the power that only shows up when life demands more than we thought we had. Struggle is the bridge to breakthrough, showing us that every obstacle, every setback, and every season of pain is not a dead end, but a step forward towards something greater. And persistence, persistence is what transforms that pain into purpose. It takes what seems unbearable and turns it into fuel. It takes what threatens to break us and turns it into the very foundation of our impact, our growth, and our destiny. The truth is, life is not meant to be easy. The trials, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, they are part of the design. They are the weight we carry so we can discover how strong we really are. They are the pressure that transforms raw potential into true greatness. And if we choose to endure, to face our struggles head on, and to persist even when it seems impossible, we will find that on the other side of our challenges lies a version of ourselves we've only dreamed of, a version that is stronger, wiser, braver, and fully aligned with the purpose we were born to live. So I challenge you today, don't run from the hardships. Don't shrink from the storms, and don't quit when it gets hard. Embrace them. Walk through them. Keep taking steps forward, even if they are small, even if they are painful, because every step is revealing your strength, building your bridge, and turning your pain into purpose. One day, when you look back at all you have endured, all you have struggled through, all the times you refused to give up, you will see that every moment was necessary. Every tear, every setback, every long night was preparing you for your breakthrough, your victory, and your life lived fully in purpose. Remember this, the other side of endurance is not just survival, it's triumph. The other side of struggle is not just relief, it's transformation. The other side of persistence is not just continuation, it's destiny. Your story is still being written, and you have the power to keep moving forward, to keep pressing, and to keep believing that what is on the other side is worth every single moment of effort. So rise, keep going, trust the process. And know this, on the other side of endurance, struggle, and persistence is the life you were created to live, the life you were always meant to have. Step into it, claim it, and don't ever look back.